Alright folks, how you doing? Russell here, TrueResults303.com. Check out the website. Coming at you today from the gym. I have an article on the website about stretching and the different types of stretching that you can use. Go ahead and check out the website. So now I'm kind of breaking it down in this video, starting with self-myofascial release. What this is just pretty much giving yourself a massage. Okay, usually if you're at a massage parlor or therapeutic center, sorry, I know a massage therapist who gets upset if you say massage parlor or call her a masseuse. So if you're at a therapeutic center for massage therapy, you just lay there. Someone else is doing the body work for you. It feels really awesome. But of course, you're not really burning any calories, and besides, it's expensive when you do it on a regular basis. So what you can do is self-myofascial release using a foam roller, as you can see right here. I've got two different kinds. This blue one is a little bit harder, better material versus the white one right here. As you can see, it indents in the middle right here. It's just a softer material, so it's going to break down over time versus one that is a lot harder. There are these types of foam rollers that are blue as well, so just be careful on which one you're buying. Of course, the softer it is, the better it's going to be for the individual when they are first performing self-myofascial release, because it can be painful. So today I'm just going to start with some basic lower body foam rolling techniques. I'm going to be using the blue foam roller. We're going to start with the quads, the front of the leg. So what you're going to want to do is we're going to take the foam roller, set it in front of you, roll it right up to the kneecap, okay? And we're going to come down in the plank position here, just like this, plank position. And now we're going to use the elbows to roll the body from the hip all the way to the knee, okay? From the hip all the way to the knee, there might be tender spots. If those spots are tender, that just means that's an area where a knot is forming or the muscle is very tense in that area. So what we want to do is we find those areas and then we just sit on them. Some people will say you can rock back and forth on that knot. I've said the same. A lot of people will disagree with that, saying that you can damage muscle tissue. At the beginning, just roll and just find those tender areas and work on them, okay? So right now we have all of our weight distributed on both legs, so it might not be as tender as it would be if you were using one leg only. So what we can do is, my right side is my back leg, so I'm going to cross my left leg over my right, and now all that weight is only going to be on that right quad, and we're going to roll back and forth again in that plank position. You're going to have to position yourself accordingly. It can be a little difficult at first. Remember, rolling from the knee all the way to the hip. Okay, then we can do the same thing. We're going to cross that right leg over that left now with all the weight on the front of that left leg, the quadricep. We're going to do the same thing, and we're going to roll back and forth, finding any tender spots and sitting on those tender spots when we find them. Okay? Next, we want to hit the side of the leg, the IT band. So same thing, we're going to come into a side plank and we're going to roll from the hip to the knee. Now, this position, whenever we're rolling the front of the leg, the IT band or the quad itself, a lot of people say sit on it till you feel the muscle loosen. I have never actually felt the muscle loosen myself, no matter how long I sit on it. But what we do need to be careful of is our bottom leg. We do not want it straight and contracted. If it's straight, that means the quadricep is contracted, and now we're just rolling on a hard muscle. Okay, so what we want to do is put a slight bend in that leg just to make sure that those muscles are not contracted, and we're really digging in to the muscle. Okay, and then the same thing, we're going to find a tender spot, for me right around the knee area, and then we just sit on it, relax until you feel like moving on to the next. Okay, and then of course we're going to do the same thing with the left IT band. We're in that side plank, rolling, making sure that bottom leg that you are working is not locked and just rolling back and forth, okay? Finding those tender spots and sitting on them. We can do the same thing with the hamstrings, the back of the leg, and we're just gonna hold our body up, and then we're just rolling back and forth. We can do the same thing by targeting one leg, crossing over, and putting all that weight on that left hamstring and rolling it out. Finding those tender spots and go ahead and sit on it. Or maybe just roll back and forth, in a 1 inch space. Same thing, cross left leg over right leg, and now we are rolling the right hamstring, okay? Now if we want to hit the glutes, the butt, we're gonna sit directly on it. We're gonna cross one leg over. For me, it's the left leg is crossed over the right. The leg that we are crossing is the leg we're gonna wanna lean onto that glute. And then we're just gonna be rolling it back and forth, finding those tender spots, okay? Then we're gonna go ahead and switch, crossing the right leg over, leaning onto that right glute, and rolling it out. Last, we can hit that calf area. So, some people aren't able to hold their bodies up and roll, so what you can do is we can slide it over just to one leg and just kind of work it, okay? This is where we might want to actually use something different, a tennis ball, softball, some of these tender areas. You can use a softball, a baseball, a golf ball even, to really target in on those painful areas. Sometimes this is not going to be enough, okay? Maybe it also could be because the muscle that you're trying to target is deep under another muscle, especially if it's coming to the glute. If we want to get the glute medius or the glute minimus, I think I said that right, not sure. There is going to be, those muscles are going to be under the glute max. So for foam rolling on this, we're not really going to be able to target those smaller areas. That's when the baseball, softball, something like that comes into play. So next, we always want to hit the inner thigh as well. So we're going to come in kind of in a side plank, find the inside of that thigh, and then we're going to roll in and out on that thigh. Once again, finding those tender spots. It's usually going to be around the kneecap itself, right where the muscles are attaching. So then we'll flip it over. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Foam rolling that inner thigh. We hit that outer thigh, the IT band, so we got to hit that inner thigh. Make sure that we're hitting the entire leg itself, okay? So some of these areas may not be tender spots for you. If they're not tender spots, that just means we don't have to worry about them as often. Okay, maybe just hit them once a week. Same thing, if it's a really, really tender spot, we're gonna have to work on them a lot more. You know, we're gonna have to hit them 2-3 times a week until we're able to loosen these areas up. And then from there, we can actually go into more of a maintenance phase, only hitting them maybe once or twice a week, just depending on everybody's individual situation. So there you go, a little bit of the basics. Foam rolling, self-myofascial release for the lower body. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you for watching. Until next time.